Hi, welcome to Markets of Sunshine. Are you just finding out about this whole world called slow stitching? Have you asked yourself, what is slow stitching? And better yet, what is the purpose of slow stitching? So, in today's video, I am going to share with you what slow stitching really is. And I'm going to share with you some projects that I've done that I consider to be slow stitching. So I hope you will stick around and enjoy it because it doesn't need to be complicated. It doesn't need to be overwhelming. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to get started. So I want to give you some motivation and encouraging points that will help you to do that and enjoy the journey and this experience called slow stitching. So come along with me here at Markets of Sunshine and let me introduce you to the world of slow stitching so that you can do it right. So slow stitching is really about taking your time and enjoying the process. It's not so much about making a perfect finished project. It's more about being present and finding inner peace in the simple, repetitive motions of sewing. Here's an example of one of my slow stitching projects. This is embroidery stitching, and each stitch is telling a story. It's a creative way to relax and slow down. Play with fabric and practice stitches and let yourself make something without any pressure. Let's dive deeper for just a few minutes. Let's look at some of the projects that I've made that will open up this world of slow stitching to you. This beautiful cover, isn't it just gorgeous? Look at all the different fabrics and textiles that I picked out. Each of these tells a story. Every page is a different moment in time. It opens the door to mindfulness and relaxation, which lets you be present in the moment and shut out the world and give yourself peace of mind. Isn't that what we all really long for? Each page is so unique and different. There are no strict rules that you have to follow. You are given the license to express your creativity on your terms. That's pretty exciting, I think. Slow stitching gives you the opportunity and permission to reconnect with a forgotten craft by reclaiming and repurposing textiles and keeping history alive. Slow stitching gives you the opportunity to reconnect with a forgotten craft by reclaiming and repurposing textiles and keeping history alive, like I did with this needlebook cover and all of the textiles that I picked out for the inside. Absolutely just beautiful pieces of history, all put together and keeping them safe and sound. You become a personal storyteller. Every piece of fabric and every stitch is telling a story, your story for that moment in time. And it forges connections and a community. There are countless video tutorials to watch, Facebook groups to join and support, and make new like-minded friends. Okay, so now I want to show you what I put together as I have been through the years. Okay, this is taking me, years to get to this point. Okay, so I started off with the type of needlework I started off with was cross stitching and embroidery. I did do crochet. Actually, crocheting was the first crafting that I started, but that's not with fabric, obviously. I did learn, I learned that when I was about 8 years old. So then when I was in high school or middle school, yeah, middle school, which was called junior high when I was there. I think it was like 7th and 8th grade or 8th grade or 8th grade. Home economics class, I actually learned to sew on a sewing machine. Made an apron and a pair of shorts. And then I didn't do any more sewing because I really didn't feel like that was my cup of tea at the time. And I did when my daughter was 2 years old. I tried making her clothing, and that was really funny. The seams. I always had a problem with the seams for some reason. I thought I was doing a 1/4 inch seam allowance, but it would be like she'd be out somewhere wearing it, and then all of a sudden there would be a big gap. And I'm like, oh my word, I'd be at a, thankfully I was usually at a friend's house or something. And then, okay, let's get the needle and thread out and do some repairs here. Oh, it was so funny. So I decided very quickly at that moment, no, I don't think I'm going to venture into clothing. So I just stayed within the home decor is where I would say that was my classification. So your aprons, your quilts, pillows, anything to do with home decor, I'm your girl. I can do that. So through the years, so I want to make your life with coming into the slow stitching world, hand sewing world. I want to make it easy. Okay, you can get this bag, which I would highly recommend, off of Amazon, and I do not remember the name of it, but it is definitely a crafter's or sewing organizer bag. Okay, so it has a cute little pocket up front. This is a really handy dandy tool. This is a needle threader. I don't know if they've come out with ones that can thread any size eye of a needle, but this one is definitely only for certain shape needle eyes. So keep that in mind if you purchase one. And this is by Clover, which I love this company. I have my yo-yo makers are from Clover. So I purchased this at a quilt store. Oh goodness, probably 15 years ago, or could have been even before that. I don't really remember. Maybe 25 years ago. Anyway, so I love it. So you put your needle in here upside down. You put your thread across here. You push the little lever, and it pushes the thread through the eye of the needle, and you pick it up, and then it's looped, and you pull the loop, and there you are. So, I mean, it really saves your eyes. So, if you have eye strain issues with threading a needle, unfortunately, it does not do embroidery thread. If anybody ever comes out with one that can do that, they'll be, it will be a very popular thing. This is just for regular sewing thread. So, okay, that's that sales pitch. I should be a spokesperson for Clover. Okay, so let me open my little bag. I think I've got it unzipped all the way. Yep. Okay, so now this has plastic pockets and zippered pouches. So I have my little small handled scissors. This is like I would classify this as something that you could use to travel with. So like even going to your doctor's appointments, going on little vacations, maybe even to the hospital. Hey, Linda, I don't know if you'll be able to move your neck very much or whatever is going to be going on after your surgery. But hey, a little hand sewing project, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if you're going to be even able to move your neck and look down. So that could present a problem. Okay, so here's one of the Clover yo-yo makers. Let me get that out and show you. So I hope this is going to be like a kind of all-purpose video about slow stitching, hand sewing, that will really benefit everyone, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, advanced, whatever level, when you watch Markets of Sunshine with Marcia, you are going to learn stuff, and you are going to find out about things that you probably never even knew about. Okay, so especially like, have you seen my handy dandy scissors that have the little spring? So anybody with arthritis or dexterity, joint issues, don't have a lot of strength in your hands, those scissors are a lifesaver and a game changer. Yes, they're big, but I found out they make a small size as well. And my mom had those. I found them at her house, and they were I mean, they're really small. They're like about this, but they're the spring action, and they're real sharp, narrow tips. It's over in the other room, so I can't show you that. Okay, so this obviously is a larger, this is actually a medium size yo-yo. So by the time you make it and then you gather it, I was going to say cinch, gather it, then it will be a little bit smaller. So it's not quite this large as a finished product, but it is close to it. But I love this. Let me see. Oh yeah, here's the mini. Isn't that adorable? Look at how tiny. And they are very tiny, let me tell you. Okay, so this is my teacup applique pattern. So this one has the fusible web on the back of it, and I just need to iron it onto this, which I have yet to do, and this has as well, because I'm saving these as a template. I need to make a cardboard template. So I have not put this together because I want to actually make a template out of it. So, and here's another one. I purchased 2 of everything, but I lose things a lot. I misplace things a lot. Let me just put it that way. My mom used to say, you have a black hole in your house. Does anybody else have a black hole in their house? You lose things, misplace things, don't know where they are, and then you give up and order something else. All right, so let's go through here pocket by pocket. Okay, so you will need needles. Let's go through what are the supplies you need to get started with slow stitching, hand sewing, and embroidery. Needlework is needles. You will definitely need needles. So again, this is Clover brand, and I purchased these through quilt stores, Joann Fabrics back in the day, and on Amazon. So this one I believe I got off of Amazon. All these others were either in a quilt shop or Joann's or something like that. Okay, so as you can see, you need a lot of needles. Don't just purchase one. And I recommend that you thread at least 2, if not 3 needles, and especially if you know you're going to use different colors, go ahead and thread every needle with each color floss or thread which you're going to be using, and put it in your pin cushion, and that's another supply that you will need. You know, I was making, where did I have that? Oh yes, I made a pen cushion and I put it in a teacup. It's listed in my Etsy shop, Markets of Sunshine. And I posted it in a Facebook group, and somebody had the nerve to say, who uses pin cushions anymore? Hello? Okay, so this is a question to all of you watching. Do you use a pen cushion? Okay, maybe you use a needle holder, a needle keeper, a needle book, but I would dare say that I know there's a lot of people who actually do use pen cushions. So this one someone made and gifted me years ago, one of my farm girl sisters, and this one I made. They're so adorable. I mean, just they're so much fun to make. They're so versatile. And then I even printed out these fabric little word pieces. That one says "So Awesome," S-E-W. I made the yo-yo, put it on here. I made the little teacup, put it on there, which this is a kit in my Etsy shop, slow stitch kit. So I mean, you know, and then here's more little. So you can purchase these word sheets that will go through your printer. Some of them have adhesive on the back. This particular one does not. So you can buy them without or with. and then you can hand sew them or machine sew them. So I just print them out on one big sheet, and then I cut them, you know, apart where when I'm going to use them. You know, you can make your own. I mean, it's like this goes in there, Marcia. And isn't this adorable? This is a vintage. Oh, what is this stuff called? Oh, Mylar. I believe this is Mylar work. And a lady that I used to take care of gifted me this. She had all kinds. She was born in 1917, and just a lovely lady, and worked for her for I don't even know how many years. My daughter was 5 years, I believe it was. Yeah. Okay, and so you will want little rulers. This is a 2-inch square ruler. Let me show you this. And so you'll need rulers of various sizes. I would definitely recommend that. And this is beeswax. I would recommend that as well. Here's another needle threader. I don't know where I even got that from. Okay, so isn't this cute? So this is like to make a perfect 1-inch or 2-inch square if you were going to do any kind of patchwork or collage or whatever. If you're quilting and you want to make the log cabin, you know, rulers are they are a must. Okay, then here is one of the yo-yos I made from that size that I showed you. So you see how small it actually goes down once it's made. Let me see if I have any of the other sizes in here. No, I don't think so. Okay, so put that back in there. And there's more goodies that I found at my mom's. Went over there again because Habitat for Humanity will be coming August 1st, which is this coming Friday, to get everything else that's in the home. We've already gifted everything. I just gifted everything in my mother's home. I did not sell a single thing. I have gifted everything. So family got what they wanted, and then whatever was left, which she had a ton, and a little tiny 1,000 square foot home, but I'm telling you, that woman packed it in there. My mother was very good at that. So it's made me so happy to be able to gift this to people. So, I mean, literally, I did not think it was going to be as easy as it wound up being. And I gave a deadline of August 1st, and I'm so happy that I did, because that just put the fire under everybody to come and get it. And they knew if they didn't, it was going to go to Habitat after that. So, I mean, we've given some things to thrift stores. Somebody that claimed that they help at women's shelters. I don't really know how true that was, but that was not I did not have anything to do with that. So anyway, I don't want to get up on that tangent. Okay, scrapbook.com. These were little free scissors. Look at how these are sharp. These are I don't like them. They're very dangerous. But so I keep the little the cover protector on it. Keep them in the little bag. I rarely use them because I stab myself enough with needles. I said that will really draw the blood. So I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about slow stitching and what you can make. Now, these are called clusters. I really would say that clusters are my favorite thing to make, and snippet rolls in my slow stitching. It truly is, I believe, at the top of my list. Second, a close second, are the actual slow stitching sampler books, which I will get to in a minute. So I want to just continue to show you what's in here. But I love this, and I love how this whole color thing. This is, I think, what I love most about this, because they're small little projects, and you pick out your different various colors of fabric that you're going to use, and then you can make it, and it's just like, you know, it's a small, manageable project. But look at how many pockets are in here. I don't even have them all filled up. Okay, so definitely pick you up one of these bags. You can fill it up with all your stuff, and what I love about it is you can carry this from craft room to living room to car to plane to hospital bed, wherever you are, doctor's office, and it's just I mean, it's wonderful. I really think this is a must-have for all slow stitchers. Okay, just gonna say that. Okay, and I believe there's different patterns. This is the one I chose. I love the color. So, all right, now let me move this out of the way, and I've got to show you some goodies from my mother's house. I got to be careful because I can't really do a lot of lifting, so I got to kind of slide this out of the way. Let me see what I've got over here so that I can easily pick up and move. So I don't, because I'm healing, and I do not want to injure myself again. So I'm still not completely 100% out of the woods, so I've got to be very careful. There we go. See how I slid it out of the way? I'm so proud of myself. Okay, so these are not from my mom's house. This is from my mom's house. Okay, look at this. All of these threads. I think this was something of mine. And there were vintage Tupperware containers. And I don't have them right here. I'm going to take those to the thrift store because they were discolored and years of aging of just, built up residue. I mean, there is a product somebody told me about that you can use. I don't know if it works on, I think it's Goo Be Gone is what it's called. And I don't know if it works on plastic though. So that's where I just said, yeah, just let me, the thrift store I donate to benefits a birthing center that's right next door. And that man knows, he's ran resale shops for over a couple decades. And he swears by Windex. He cleans everything with Windex. So when I gift stuff there, he's just, he's all excited. He gets out his Windex and he just goes to town cleaning. So look at all these threads. And what was the most exciting thing is that there were wood spools. So once I use this thread up, and I don't know, I'm almost toying with it, but I think I will just wait. It's going to be hard, but I'm going to do it. Is make little miniature scrolls. Aren't those going to be cute little miniature snippet roll scrolls? These are like storytelling scrolls. So I have this one, and I have this one, and then there's this size, and then there's this size, and then here's one. It's got a little chip out of it. Let's see, I want to get all the wooden ones. It was like, I was just like a kid in a candy store. I was like, oh my goodness, there's wood. This one here, look at this. Okay, this was $4 for $1. And what store is that? I can't even read it. Anyway, and it is Spun D-E-E. Okay, let's see. These are all plastic. But I don't know if my mom, if these were like, because they were, like I said, those containers were from the 1960s. So I was born in 1963. And my mom started sewing because she had my sister in 1959. And then I came along, and then my next sister came along in 1964. And my brother came along in 1969. So she was sewing clothing for the girls. She never really, I don't think, made anything for my brother. This one says $5 for $1. Oh, TG&Y. I don't know who that is. I was trying to look for ones that had, like, this is 45 cents. So that, I thought that was just, yeah, TG&Y. Huh. That kind of rings a bell, but I can't really remember. I think that was when we lived in Oviedo, and it was a store in Winter Park. Or maybe one in Orlando. I don't know. I can't remember. Yeah, these say all TG&Y. $5 for $1. So that was 25 cents a spool. 39 cents. Okay. So just so you know, we're talking a long, 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 long time ago. Okay, now, underneath all of this is the really gold mine to me, and that's the buttons. Okay, so let's get over to the buttons. We went over there the other day because just about everything is, is, like I said, it's getting wrapped up. And so the executress called me, and she's like, you want to go over there, go through a walkthrough one more time, see if there's anything else that you might have wanted? And I'm like, okay, let me go over there. And then they had boxed up a bunch of the stuff, and things were, and I love it that there's a lot of beige and white thread and tons of green. I love green. I said, I don't know, maybe that's maybe when I started liking green was when I was young, because Mom had a ton of green thread. I didn't know about that, so I'm like, oh, cool. We're going to take all this thread and put it over here. Blue and green. Mom's favorite color was blue. I don't know when I really started to know when I had a favorite color. I really couldn't say. I don't really have a memory of when did I start having a favorite color. And I don't know when I was even asked. I remember being asked, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? I don't remember being asked, like, what's your favorite color? Okay, where does this go to? This is trying to find the owner of this. Okay, here, over here. Here we go. Okay, this is a pretty teal. Oh, this is beautiful. Very pretty. Okay. All right, purple. Beautiful purple. Okay, now purple, I did used to like purple. That's true. I do remember that now. Seeing that purple made it just was like a little flash in my little brain. Yes, purple. I was a purple lover. Okay, now. So these are all fabric covered. Oh, this is nice. I wonder if this is plastic, okay, or wood. I don't know, but this is really nice. So I just want to look through here, see if there's any buttons that are really pretty. These came off of, looks like probably a coat. See if there's anything that I can find that might be something really, really nice. Oh, I love these. Flower wind, that's really cute. This container, that's an actual button. Nice purple ones, these are nice. I like the fact that there's a lot of bigger neutral colors, because I love using these in my slow stitch kits for my customers, and I was running out of the medium to larger size. I love putting these in this size, I love, and this size for the needle book kits. These are really nice, and if you haven't seen my vintage needle book kit, it's really pretty and it's popular. I have a country themed needle book kit, and I have a Victorian, not Victorian, vintage themed needle book kit. So, and I do have a needle kit here that I wanted to show you, because this is obvious, also Tupperware. I wanted to show you how to collect and start your project. What's the easiest way? So my recommendation would be to cut up your, pick a color theme. If you want to go collage, eclectic, country, patchwork, and you want it to be crazy quilt style, like it's all different colors, patterns, then just go, pick out what you have. I would start with remnants. Go to your Michaels, Walmart, quilt shops, and start buying remnants. Those are smaller pieces of scraps, your fat quarters, eighth quarters, and start your slow stitching stash with that type. Don't start with yardage. Don't start like by buying a quarter of a yard. Start with your fat quarters, eighth quarters, remnant pieces. So this is one of my kits, and this is what I put in them. So this is all of you get the buttons. So this is the purple butterfly kit. You get the butterfly stick and stitch paper, which is for your embroidery practice. You get a cardboard, cardstock pattern template. You get a whole skein of embroidery thread, floss, whatever you want to call it. You get a sampling of different laces. And one of the buttons fell out. And you get a sampling of fabrics. I don't even know what fell out. Okay, this butterfly. And then I also put charms in with this kit. So, and then you have your a butterfly applique piece, and you have your foundation piece. And this particular kit, I've done some word stamping, feel better soon, a little heart. They all have, and then there's hand stamped pieces, and then this one has your batting, and you have a little bit of a linen, vintage linen piece. So this is how I would start if I was brand new. I would start with, like you were making your own kit. That's what I would do. If you want to purchase a kit from anybody, that's also something that I would recommend. And then take that as a sample, and then from that first kit that you purchased, use that as a guide and cut up smaller pieces of fabric, smaller pieces of lace. Get your button selection. If you're going to have a embroidery pattern on it, are you going to practice embroidery stitching on it? Do you want to have an applique piece? That would be my starting point for anyone who's wanting to get started in slow stitching, or even if you're in slow stitching, a kit is a fabulous thing, and especially kits like mine that come with a pattern, that come with an embellishment. So like with this here, with the pincushion, this teacup pattern is in my shop as a slow stitch kit with the stick and stitch paper for your embroidery, so then you actually get to embroider it on another piece as well, or on that same big piece, or you can make a cute little pincushion like this with it. So that, to me, that's when I put my kits together, that's what I kept in mind. I wanted people to be able to just take my kit and make something from start to finish, and whatever that looks like for each person is going to be different. Now this is a quilt that I'm going to be working on. It's in my slow stitching sampler. It was a slice of life theme here on my channel, and this was the first row, and then the second one is the purple. So each row is going to be 3 little squares, each with a different theme. As you can see, this is bees theme and butterflies and flowers. So the next purple is purple here, a neutral center, and then the purple here of different patterns. As you see, these are different patterns. I stamped on them as well. You can stamp on your fabric just like you saw the word stamp that I did on the other one. So this is a project here on my channel. You can go back and watch that video. Just go to my, click on Markets of Sunshine right here, and then you'll see the video option, and you can click on that. So here's another sample of slow stitching that you can do. So this is another kit in my shop, the teapot kit. And this one is hearts and teapot and flower. So there's a flower and bird kit. And then this one I combined the teapot, the heart, hearts and the flower. And then I have yo-yos. So in this kit you get the 4 yo-yos, and you get the template for the heart, template for the teapot, template for the flower, and then it comes with this trim and buttons of different colors and various things, and then the fabric with the iron-on fusible webbing on the back. They're not cut out in the shape, but it's for you to cut out using the heart pattern. But this is another sample of slow stitching that you can do. So slow stitching just gives you such a wide array of options. You can just do so much with it. It's not just about sitting down and you know, throw in a bunch of squares of fabrics together on a page. Okay, so like this. Okay, now this is my slow stitching sampler book. Now this is a kit in my shop, and you get to make this whole entire book, that's what comes in the kit. Okay, so it comes with the batting, the felt, the fabric to do the front cover, the laces, just to make the front cover. It does not include all the fabrics for the inside. I have a separate kit with fabrics and laces that you could purchase to fill up your entire book with, if you so chose to do that from my kits in my shop. But look at what I've done here. So this page, this really helps you get a good start on your embroidery and your slow stitching. This is something else that I would highly recommend to any newbie, is to get a slow stitching sampler book and start with that and just start practicing, and then page by page by page, then you can practice your techniques and you can use different styles on every page. I mean, I put a pocket right here, I put this little flip up right here, I do journal making, junk journal making, so I've incorporated things you would see in a junk journal, like this little, flip up thing or a pocket, in my little sampler book. I mean, it's so much fun. Here's a flip out over here. This is a kit in my shop. It's all pink laces and neutrals. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. To just also, and with a foundation, you get a foundation piece to put all these on it. The heart template comes with it. The buttons, of course, not these exact buttons. Most of all these laces and fabrics and things, this I've ran out of this one, but I have other flower, cream, and pink that I use now. And so this one here, I made a little girl applique. So there is just, the possibilities with slow stitching, and if you make a slow stitching sampler book, are endless, and it just unlocks your creativity. I have a whole series about how to unlock your creativity, and definitely with what you see here on YouTube, with all the different talented people with our paper crafting and fabric art and just, textiles, is just amazing. So you're in the right place to learn all these things. So I hope you will stick around and learn with me. I'd love to have you subscribe, be a part of my community. Please watch my videos from start to finish. Put them on and just listen to me. That really helps my channel. And just share it, but watching all my videos is really, really helpful for me. And so this one here is, I have 5 different slow stitch books. So if you want to see a presentation of me talking about them all, check out my playlist, because I show you all 5 of them in a separate video. So my friend Linda Coker is going to be doing a series, and it's everything to do with fabric art, hand sewing, needlework, crocheting, knitting, tatting, the gamut of hand work. It's not about junk journaling, paper crafting. It is fabric textiles. And so she's starting a new series, and her and I just kind of play off of each other's ideas, and we support each other, and because you need that. You really need that. You need the camaraderie. You need a community. You need a collaboratory buddy here on YouTube, and her and I are it for each other. So she's going to be having surgery, so please prayers for Linda so that she can recover and come back, because I'll miss my buddy. I can't handle it. I need her. Okay, so this I wanted to show you. So I will be doing a video. I got to go back and watch her video about that new series and incorporate it and add it to my list of repertoires here on my channel, my video series, because I have quite a few, and so does she. So I will be joining in the fun with Linda, and I just have not decided exactly what exactly I'm going to do. If I can just incorporate what I'm already doing, I'll do that. So this is a placemat that I slow stitched. Isn't it beautiful? So this is what it used to look like. Okay, these were from my mom, stained, but they were fabric. I was wanting ones that were fabric. I love how this turned out. Absolutely love it. Again, this is a small piece. You already have your foundation piece cut for you. It's already put together. It's sturdy. And yes, okay, I will tell you. You need to machine stitch around the perimeter because you're going to be going through the hem of it, and that's like impossible with your hand sewing. But then on the interior of it, the middle in past that seam border is very easy for your needle to go through. And then I've practiced a lot of my embroidery stitching and just put decorative stitching. I am all about learning certain stitches, and then I like to vary how I use those stitches. So this is a lazy daisy stitch with the chain stitch. And, you know, I mean, it just turned out so beautiful. So I did, you know, different colors to just enhance and so that you could see them. So I did the red here with the red and the white. I did orange here with the orange and the cream, more red and white here, French knots over here, and then all the purple in here. And then on this word, I just went around it with green. So I put faith, friendship, hope, and love. And that was from fabric that I'd gotten at Hobby Lobby. And then I did another lazy daisy stitch here, a leaf stitch. So, I mean, this is my type of creativity, slow stitching. You can sit and relax. Here's the woven wheel stitch. But you can sit on the couch, watch a movie, which my new series that I found several, was it last year? The Golden Age, and it's all about the 1800s, 1900s, wealthy in New York City here in America. And the man who wrote the Downton Abbey, and he's got several others. Oh, I can't remember. Fellows. What is his first name? Oh. Anyway, whoever the guy that did Downton Abbey, he did this Golden Age. So I follow his shows, movies, because they're very good. I don't think I found any, maybe one that wasn't anything that I liked or wanted to see. But it's definitely, I love it. I love historical, based on fact type things. So it's very interesting, extremely interesting. So this would be a nice project that you could follow along with here on my channel, and, you know, get a fabric placemat, and then, you know, get your fabric out, cut it in little pieces. And I showed you two different methods. So this one I told you I put down the lace first, then I came out back on top of that with the fabric. Generally, I do it the other way around. Generally, I put down the fabric first, and then I put the lace on all the seams. But I said, you know what? I want to try something different. And I like the way it turned out. I think it's beautiful. It just really, really... So now the lace is the dominant showpiece, and then the fabric was the smaller pieces. So I like it. It just turned out so beautiful. So I'm very happy with how this has turned out. And then another type of slow stitching is the embroidery stitching. And because it is slow stitching, as you saw my explanation in the beginning of the video, is just mindfulness, slowing down. Embroidery, crocheting, cross-stitching, knitting, it all is about slowing down and sitting quietly, meditatively, and it's still so relaxing when you're watching a movie. It's perfect. Now, I don't know if I could say, I don't really think I've ever watched, I don't watch action-packed suspense anymore, because that's not good for your psyche. and especially as you age. But if you have any anxiety, you do not want to be watching suspense and scary and horror and all that stuff anymore. You need to stay on the calm, comedy, romance side. And so that's what I do. So this is an anniversary gift for a friend, and I purchased the pattern from an Etsy seller because I love supporting my other handmade artisans on Etsy that are the true handmade artisans. And so then I printed this out on stick and stitch paper and put it on here, and I have a video showing you how I did this, and then how to dissolve the stick and stitch paper, which is just with warm water, and you rub it, and you let your fabric dry. And so obviously I take it out of the hoop when I do that, and then once it's dried I put it back in. So the only thing I need to do is sew this up, so you kind of like pull these in, and then you sew this all down, and then you put a piece of felt around it with hot glue all around the edge, and then this is the hanger. So when I present it, which I made this either a year or 2 years ago, I can't remember. I think I made it in 2023. So of course, and their anniversary is April 20th. Okay, where am I? I'm in July going into August. So I said, okay, I'm going to get this finished. This is one of my unfinished projects I'm going to finish. I'm going to get this finished. I'm going to box it up, and I'm going to put it in, and even though it was made for anniversary, but I said, you know what? I'm going to give it to them because she takes care of her husband's father. They live in his father's home, who has dementia, taking care of him because they didn't want him in a nursing home, and which now that my mother, I went through all that, I can understand now completely. And even though you're close to losing your mind and your sanity and everything else, stressed out of your little mind, it's better than seeing them killed in a nursing home or rehab. So that's all I'm going to say on that. I'm sorry. But, so anyway, if you can do it and keep them with you, do it. It's just like, hospice. If you know they're going down, that's where they go. I still have to get this out of my system. I have my good days and bad days. Okay. Moving on, Marcia, moving on. Okay. So this technique I want to show you. This is like, not in this video, but this is a cool, cool, cool technique, and I've got to teach you all how to do it. I learned this years ago, probably, 6, 7 years ago here on YouTube from another artisan. I believe she was from the UK. I've never seen anyone else do it, her technique here on YouTube. And so if I can find her original video, I will, so that I can give her the credit. But then I will show you the technique. So now, one last thing. So before I'm going to wrap it up here, but one last thing to find your supplies is, this is an old pillowcase with embroidery on it. So go to thrift stores, scour your grandmother's linen closet, your mother's linen closet, and if they're not using them, they let you have them. Get these out. These are perfect pieces to use to embellish your slow stitching. So I'm going to come in here and I can cut out each of these little flowers and add them into a slow stitch project. I mean, it's like wonderful. When I went through all my mom's stuff, and I'm like, I know what I'm going to be looking for. So it was perfect. So one last thing. This is a new supply that I have. Let me move these down because I think it's probably putting it up too high in your face, but I don't know. Let me just go ahead. All right, so these little containers I purchased off of Amazon because my mom had some, and I loved these. Hers had the handle up here. Some just had a hinge in the front with no handle, and they were much nicer made. This is just cheap cardboard with decorative paper over it. But they were very inexpensive. Okay, so like I gotta give them that. So I think the containers she purchased were probably either from like Michael's or Joann's, or they could have come from her neighbor who was the seamstress, and she had like a stockpile of stuff, which I inherited a bunch of that years ago. So I'm using these to hold my little plastic container that I purchased off of Amazon. Okay, so it came in, and there was 5 trays, I believe. I'll show you. And so I didn't like that I have to unlock the little hinges all the time and then close them up, and you got to carry. I said, I'm done with that. So I separated them out, and now I've got these individual little things because, again, the weight, I have this whole, I've had to make some real adjustments because I can't carry anything heavy anymore. And this is going to be my new norm. So once it heals, I tore an abdominal muscle. Okay, and it was a weakness that had already gotten started, and then I did just a normal everyday activity that should not have made it worse, and did. So the doctor finally got to somebody who figured it out. And but that's just my body. That's just me. I've always had weak muscles that very tight and would tear easily once I got into my, like, after I had my daughter. Let me just put it that way. I don't know why. I don't know what changed. When I was young, I never had any of those problems. I ran, I played, I climbed, I jumped, I did everything. Never had anything like this. It's happened to me since I've gotten older, so I don't know. But anywho, so here's 2 layers here, and then I have another container that has the other layer, and then this one. So I love it. It's just like, so now see, all I have to do is open it up, and then what I did, because when I ordered this off of Amazon, I went to DMC's. I'm just gonna, before I jump to another thing, let me just finish this. So then when I ordered this off of Amazon, it was just all, you know, there was no really color coding. I like it. I like color coded. So I took the time when I bought these to sit down, and I put all the purples, all the blues and greens, all the, you know what I'm saying? I took the time to do it and organize it so that it was nice, and all the earth tones, you know, oranges, you know, I mean, this is like, and this one, they didn't really have a lot of creams and whites. I don't know. It's like, I mean, it's like, oh my goodness. So I've had to be buying separate cream and white all the time because you don't use all these other colors, you know. So, okay, so that's that. So I wanted to show you that. But I went to DMC because, I don't know, when I was looking for these, I kind of got a wild idea of like, oh, it would be so nice. But then I realized, no, Marcia, you cannot tote around that heavy wood box, and this was the perfect solution. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it was very insightful for you. I hope it's helped unlock your creativity. Hope you found some use out of any of it. If you did, please leave me comments. If you're new to Slow Stitching, new to my channel, returning, whatever, thank you for being here. Welcome to everybody that's new, and thank you for coming back. And I hope that you will stick around with me and we can make some beautiful projects together. I'd love to know what you're working on, or if you're just enjoying watching me and listening to me and seeing what I'm working on. Either way, that would be great. So tonight I'm going to do some slow stitching, sitting on the couch watching my Gilded Age Season 3 episode, I believe it's 6 now. And we're really getting to a good point. So the mother married off her youngest daughter. She had a boy and a girl, so she married off her 18-year-old daughter to a duke from England, and which I want to go through the history and find, because there was actually a Mrs. Astor and a Mr. McAllister, and there was a McAllister's 400 list that was actually a real thing. Oh my goodness, the hierarchy of wealth and the wealthy here in America back in those days was really amazing. And you know what was something too, because they would always tout like if you were old money or new money. And my ancestors came over on the Mayflower. Well, guess what? My ancestors came over on the Mayflower too, but I think they were dirt poor. I don't think anybody came over to America rich. I could be wrong on that, but anyway. So how they made their money when they got here is like, you know, and then they got all, you know, high-minded and highfalutin and all that thing. So it's very interesting. But so I'm at this critical point. So now the daughter's in peril, and the mother has to save the day, and then the husband's all upset with the mom because she, you know, he didn't didn't want the marriage, and he just caved into her. So it's at a good point. So I'm curious to see where he's gonna take it, and where do we go from here? So it's really, I love the series. So check it out on HBO, which you can do a subscription off of Amazon, and there's a 7-day free trial, and then I think it was $9.99 a month. So, but it's worth it just for the series. I mean, trust me. And then after that, I'll cancel it and wait until the next year, and then I start it up again. So that's generally how I do. So I'm sitting here thinking, what am I going to use to work on tonight? And I think, you know what I'm going to do? Let me show you real quick. I have these little jars that I'm going to put the buttons in. And then I have these. Aren't these cute? Look how cute they are. And, oh, my little buttons. Pens. I didn't even realize that I had these. And I love these. Love, 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 love. So they're like little tiny heads on them. And a few of my viewers here, subscribers on my channel, sent me the little pens. I know Diane did, and I think Rachel. I love them. Okay, and then, let me get this one out. Oh. Okay. So this is going to be the next row. So when you make this, they have to line up. So this is the next row, and I don't know. I've got some. I want this button. I think I'm going to put this button here because I see how there's yellow in that one. I'm toying with that. I'm not quite 100% sure on it. This one goes there. This one goes here. And so that much I've got. So I think I'm going to definitely work on that. I don't think the yellow, but a purple one. I don't know. I think I was wanting to do a purple one, but I'm not quite sure. Okay. So that's it. That's it for today, ladies. Thank you so much for joining me here for this video series. I hope you will come back and watch the next video. And if you're going to join in any of the series, please let me know, and where you're watching from, and what are you working on. So even if you just watch me and listen to me while you work on something completely different, I mean, that's wonderful too. I would love to hear about it. So thank you again, and stay safe, keep creating in the sunshine, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.